Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina. This story is sponsored by AIM Acupuncture and Integrative Medicine.
Life was pretty bad. My feet were giving me trouble, and it had been going on for about 2 years, and I couldn't sleep, and that was the main problem I was having, was not being able to sleep. They would get real hot at night, they would burn, sting. I had been to several doctors. I didn't get any help from that, and I had seen the commercials, for Dr. Tanya, and I thought, well, at this point, I need to try something, and so I came here. Now it's a lot better. My feet do not burn and sting as much. I'm having a lot better. I'm not completely through with the treatment yet, so I expect it will be a lot better than that. I hadn't been able to sleep, and that was really getting bad, because you don't know what it is when you can't sleep at night and you're constantly waking up and trying to find a comfortable position, and you just can't, and then you don't function well the next day. So that was the main thing, and that is definitely getting better. I think the reason to come here would be that what I found was that you all are very professional, okay? And you listen. When I came to the first appointment, you did an evaluation. You told me where I was at that point. Dr. Tanya came in and discussed it with me, and then told me what she recommended, gave me a treatment plan, told me what that was, and then we went from there. And I was impressed with the way everyone was. They listened to what I had to say, they took it into account, and they were just very professional.
Welcome back to Living Local Carolina, everyone. Today I am at AIM Acupuncture and Integrative Medicine, and I'm joined by Yvonne. Thanks for sitting down with me. Thank you. We are going to be talking to John, who is one of your patients here. You were asking him some questions about his experience, but tell me what was going on with John before he came to AIM.
So before John came to AIM, he was having a lot of pain and burning and stinging in his feet, which led him to not be able to get good quality sleep. So when you don't have good quality sleep, it can really affect your whole person, your whole personality and everything like that. You're tired all the time, you don't want to do things. So for him, it was becoming unbearable. He couldn't even sleep at night.
That's terrible. I can't even imagine. And I'm sure you see this quite a bit with people that come through here, that they have very similar conditions. What is it actually called?
Neuropathy.
Gotcha, neuropathy. Okay, so how do you treat neuropathy here?
Well, we have a couple of ways that we treat neuropathy. We use our ATP, bioresonance therapy. So that works at the microcellular level of the body, and it creates new nerves. So those nerves that may have died off and all of that is creating new neural pathways for them. So it's bringing the sensation and the feeling back into their feet. And then acupuncture, of course, so needling.
Of course. So I can imagine too, it's kind of a personalized thing for every patient that comes in here. They're dealing with different ailments. How do you guys come up with a plan?
So Dr. Tanya actually comes up with that plan. We go in and she meets with them first, and then she'll say if they need a Toronto test or not. And what a Toronto test is we go in and we test their sensitivity in their feet or their hands if they're experiencing it in their hands. And so in John's case, he had it in his feet only. So I went in there and administered a test to him to see where his sensitivity levels were. And then once she had those numbers, she was able to come up with a treatment plan for him.
Awesome. And how does it feel being able to see John have these awesome results so far?
It's one of my favorite things about what I do for a job. Seeing people get back into life and enjoying it and not feeling like they're being left out, and just improving their overall quality.
This story is sponsored by AIM Acupuncture and Integrative Medicine. We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Don't Get It Twisted. Well, guys, welcome to Living Local Carolina. I know you've heard about the Coastal Cowboy Pro Rodeo that's coming up, and part of that fun experience is going to be the food, of course, and that's why I'm joined by Jenny Jo from Don't Get It Twisted. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay, what are people going to be able to eat?
So they're gonna have homemade pork chops, ribeye, ribs, fire corn, baked beans, potato salad, macaroni and cheese.
A classic Southern meal, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
So what made you guys want to be a part of this fun day?
Absolutely rodeo. And these are my favorite customers. They've been with me since day one, and they deserve this. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
So how does the VIP experience work? Who gets the dinner? How does all that play out?
Well, they purchase the price of a VIP ticket, and that comes with alcohol and the dinner and the seating and the parking.
Well, we're excited to see what you guys are cooking up, and people can actually come and watch you guys cook before going to the rodeo, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me all about it.
So we had a barbecue welded, so it's gonna be firewood. You get to actually see your steaks, your fire corn, everything being cooked in front of you.
Wow.
Dinner and a show.
I love it. All right, well guys, you know Paul. He's back with me to tell me some more details about the VIP experience and when the rodeo is gonna be.
So the Coastal Cowboy Pro Rodeo is going to be June 6th and 7th, and the VIP experience actually includes VIP parking, VIP seating, an extremely excellent meal here from Don't Get It Twisted. And as far as everything else goes, guys, you can't miss the VIP experience. I mean, it's worth paying the little extra money for, and you're not going to believe what you get with it.
Yeah, you get the most bang for your buck. So where can people get those tickets?
Eventbrite. Eventbrite, they're on sale now, but I will tell you, listen, tickets are selling fast. We've been selling tickets for quite a while, and we're not expecting this thing to last very long. Get your tickets now.
Get on it. Well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. This portion of Living Local Carolina was sponsored by Don't Get It Twisted. I am so excited to be in the kitchen today with David Peterson from Peterson's world famous hot dogs and sausage dogs.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
All
Glad
right.
to be here.
I'm so excited that you're here. You've got a nicely dressed hot dog here.
Thank you so
And then we
much.
have one that does not have all the fixins quite yet. But while you're fixing this up, why don't you tell me a little bit about why you started this business and how you got to where you are today?
Well, the reason why I started this business because my grandmother, she actually ran a hot dog stand in New York City.
Really?
Yes, and she had people line up all around the block. So I decided, why not start a hot dog stand in South Carolina?
Yeah.
So when I graduated school, my parents, they invested into a hot dog cart, and I got all the licensing, the permits, and everything that you have to do when you start a food business, and it was all up from there. And then I just kept going with it.
All right, so how often are you at your hot dog cart and where can people find it?
Well, we there for at least about 6 days a week. We pretty much take Sundays off, but we set up Sundays sometime. But they can find us on Irby Street, right by the Planet Fitness, and the tobacco market is where we set up at, right on the grass platform. That's where we set up at. So you can find us there 6 days a week.
All right, well, why don't you go ahead and tell me
Alrighty.
what you're going to be putting on here.
All right, first we're gonna put some of this world famous hot dog chili, and this is the best chili that you'll ever taste ever in your life. So we're gonna start out with that. We're gonna put the chili on that hot dog. You gotta put the bedding on it. This is the bedding for the hot dog.
What do you say to people that just want a plain hot dog?
Just want a plain hot dog? I say you just want a plain hot dog. You don't want something that's good
Yeah,
on world
that's
famous
what
chili?
I'm thinking.
Come on now.
You got to dress it up.
Then you're gonna put this ketchup. Got to have
Love
that
it.
ketchup.
Ready
Got to
ketchup,
have it.
mustard.
Then you're gonna put mustard. Some people just like a line. Let's do a little line of mustard.
Yeah.
All right. Then you got to have them onions. Sometimes when I ask people, they say, "Do you want an onion?" They're like, "Yeah, I want some onion." I'm like, "Okay, relax, calm down, calm down. We're gonna put some onions on there for you."
Perfect.
So you got to have onions. Got to put the onions on,
Beautiful.
and that's how you make a perfect hot dog.
As simple as that.
Simple as that. Simple as that. And
All
it tastes
right.
delicious. The flavor is out of this world.
I love it.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Well, thanks for joining us today. We have a little bit of a different segment that we are doing. I'm joined by Miguel Brown, who's normally behind the camera. Miguel, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. We really just wanted to show you guys who Miguel was. He does so much for our team here at Living Local Carolina, and I want you guys to be able to get to know him as well. So, Miguel, why don't you tell me a little bit about your background and how you got to be here at Living Local Carolina?
My background started. I graduated from the Art Institute of Charleston, got a film degree in 2014, and then I started at News 2 as a senior video editor, and that's where we worked together in Charleston. I've been there for a few years, and then I Nexstar created the Living Local show, and I wanted to do LLC, and then a position happened to open up back in 2022 here in Myrtle Beach, and I applied here, and Lord and behold, here you are in Myrtle Beach from Charleston.
Who would have thought?
Exactly.
Well, tell me, what is it about the job that you enjoy most?
The most I enjoy about this job is the creativity, because with news, there's no creativity. There's straight hard edits or quick shoots.
You're trying to get things out as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah, and it's a lot. LLC is a lot more funner than the happy news versus the sad news that everybody pretty much hates.
True.
Yeah.
For those who maybe don't know, why don't you talk a little bit about your job and what it entails on a daily basis?
So my job entails, as obviously I'm behind the scenes, setting up the camera, making sure that everything is lit properly, making sure that the guests and even Katie is mic'd properly, checking the levels of the audio, bringing the footage back to the station, ingesting everything for Katie to also edit, and also for myself, depending on the projects. We divide the projects up together.
We're a two-man band.
Yes. And I actually edit the shows, put the shows together. I kind of give her a little more editing because she loves to edit.
I do.
And I love to edit too, but it's definitely great.
And you also have been doing a little bit more of the producing aspect of this job. You actually look for segments, you're going out in the community, you're making the calls and finding people to come on the show. So what has that been like, kind of expanding your role over the last year?
Expanding my role has been, great. I actually enjoyed calling folks and saying, hey, would you like to do LLC for your nonprofit? And a lot of people either get nervous or they're super excited, and it's great to give a lot of folks that type of exposure.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You've been able to see quite a bit over the last year. Lots of different segments, lots of different businesses. You've gotten to meet a ton of people. Is there anything that stood out to you?
One of the fun things was the Low Country Flying Club. I never thought I was really that much afraid of heights until we hopped into the small plane. I hopped into the small plane and getting shots of us flying around the Myrtle Beach area. But it was very different from being in a very large commercial plane versus to a private. Our plane was behind another plane and feeling that jet engine just causing the plane to jump, and I'm freaking out. Even though you can't see it on camera, I'm behind the scenes freaking out with the camera. I can't look down.
You're keeping it steady though.
Keeping it steady.
The best you can.
The best I can until the shaking of the plane stopped, and I was like, I can actually film now.
Yeah, I will not be going in the air anytime soon. I'm glad that Miguel was able to do that, but I'm gonna have to hard pass on that. You also got to meet Mr. Thomas, the stick man.
We got to do a segment with him. He was absolutely wonderful. And it's being able to highlight people like that I think really, really make this job so special.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Guys, welcome to Atlantic Beach. I am chatting with Patricia, who is a historian and knows everything about this area. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. And you?
I'm doing great. I want you to teach me what Atlantic Beach is all about. There's a very rich history here.
Yes, Atlantic Beach was founded in 1934 by a guy named George W. Tyson. He came from Wilmington, North Carolina. He had been in the war. And as a result, he decided that he was going to come here. There was a guy named R.V. Ward that sold him the first two streets, 29th Avenue and 30th Avenue, for $2,000, okay? 1934 was a time of depression, so of course he didn't have a lot of money, but he was able to gather money from his wife's family, which was the Baldwin family, out of Conway, South Carolina, and they were able to get them the money. A few years later, there was a lady named Viola Bell that she wanted to sell the next two streets, which is 30th, 1st and 32nd.
Okay.
And so she sold it to him for $600, but it had a mortgage on it, and he had to take up the mortgage. Now, he was able to do very well for a few years with that, but he got into some financial problems, and he had to set up an organization called the Atlantic Beach Company. And the Atlantic Beach Company, he was a smart man to first see that he was in financial problems, and he needed to resolve that. So he got the doctors, the lawyers, the dentists, the professors, president of universities, the top blacks during that time, to buy land, particularly on this street right here in front of us, and which is Ocean Boulevard, and this street here, okay? And so they bought this, and I think his intentions was, you know what, these other people have money, and maybe they could keep paying off whatever they need to do or to maintain this, and he was true about. Another thing he was also very particular about on the ocean front was to make sure he put in the deeds there would be, on most of these lots here, no type of, he didn't say it was high rise, but he said it would only be residential, houses could be built. And that purpose was so that you would have the view, basically, of the ocean. And today, since 1934, there have only been two buildings, the Gordon Motel and also Holiday Motel, that was here. In 1954, although the Gordon Motel was one of the most fabulous motels for the black people during this time. This is a period of segregation, so we didn't have any place to come to, because they wouldn't allow us unless we were working as babysitters or cooks or maids or something in the motels in Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach. We had no place else to come. He decided to make this a place where blacks could come. And like I said, he made sure he wanted the ocean view to be reserved for anyone who wants to come and live on. And he put it in the deeds. And that's why today, even though they put two motels, different governments was able to allow the Gordon and that one there, 1954, Hazel knocked the Gordon Motel down, and it was later on when Hugo came along, it finally knocked the rest of this down. But before that happened, they had all kinds of things here. It was like an amusement park.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you had all kinds of like Ferris wheels, merry-go-rounds, bumper cars, anything you could think of, like the arcades and stuff would have. They had this. People came here every weekend and celebrated, and these streets were packed. This is Main Street, particular Main Street. It was packed with people who came. They got here any way they could. They said that people had actually trucks, flatbed trucks. They jumped on those. Some of the people came at even earlier time with horse and buggy, just to enjoy the water, to enjoy themselves for the amazement of enjoying the beach. And so many businesses started along the streets and stuff.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.